At 3:13 a.m., the live chat went feral. Do you hear that? Call 911. Don't answer the second knock. Ethan stops mid-sentence, eyes to the left off frame, toward the wall his camera never shows. 3 short knocks. Clean, measured, like a neighbor with etiquette. The microphone clips. The stream freezes on his mouth, half open, and then it drops to black. 2 hours later, his entire channel is gone. Not demonetized, not struck. Gone like a street you swear existed yesterday. My name's Robert. I don't believe in people vanishing online. It's 2025. The internet keeps more receipts than God. But everything I know about memory failed the night the messages started hitting my phone at exactly the same time. The stream died. 3:13 a.m. Are you seeing it? A number underneath different each night, like coordinates playing shy. It wasn't just my phone. My laptop, asleep on the desk, woke itself and typed the same line into a blank doc. My Ring doorbell previewed a visitor no camera had captured a grey rectangle for a face. Time-stamped 3:13, still frame of an empty hallway. Discord pinged from a server I'd closed months ago. New DM, are you seeing it? I watch Ethan's last 12 minutes, 47 seconds, until I know the grain of his walls better than the lines in my palms. He's in a campus apartment that looks like the entire Rust Belt tried to quit smoking and failed thin drywall. Thrifted couch, a hallway that shouldn't echo but does. At 12:47, he goes quiet. His eyes sharpen the way prey turns before the jungle speaks. Then the knocks. Then the chat noise that sounds like rain. Then black. I pull the VOD from a mirror on our unresolved mysteries before it goes down. I strip the audio and throw it into an editor like I know what I'm doing. Under the chat roar there's breath, so close to the mic it fogs imaginary glass. Not Ethan's, not his roommates. A second set half a beat behind. On the spectrogram, 3 vertical bars at perfect intervals. I slow the file to 70%. A phrase hides in the noise. Not words. A rhythm your bones translate before your head tries. 3. Pause. 2. Like a code asking permission. The DMIs keep coming. Same sentence, new number. I punch one set into maps with all the hope of a fool. A pin lands 4 blocks from my place, in the part of town contractors swear they're revitalizing next year. A note in Ethan's archive mentions a house with a blue front and a reputation. Nobody lives there. Lights breathe anyway. If urban legends had Zillow listings, it would be on the first page. I tell myself I'm going to sleep like a man with a commute. I lie. At 2:58, my apartment goes museum quiet. No fridge hum, no upstairs neighbor, no downtown hiss. Quiet that drafts a will. At 3:13, my wall phone rings. I do not have a wall phone. The sound comes from the kitchen anyway. Clean and domestic. 2 rooms to the left. Between the stove and the calendar, I keep forgetting to update. My Ring cam pushes a notification without video. The banner says motion detected, nothing to show you. The screen glows like a fish under ice. I let it ring once. It stops. My phone lights on the table where I left it face down. Another message. Are you seeing it? No number this time. Just the sentence and a thumbnail of a streetlight bending over a house with a chipped blue face. The top floor window is a black coin. Something moves behind the glass, slow enough to be deliberate. The chat log from Ethan's final stream lives in a dead tab on my browser. It refreshes by itself, like malignant kindness. A new line appears in grey I didn't choose. If time stops, look again. I leave the apartment, like I forgot my name and remembered the rest. 15 minutes on foot, 3 red lights, 1 junkyard dog that has retired from caring. The neighborhood changes its mind about what it is every 2 blocks. By Mercer and 12th, the street refuses to say whether it's awake. The house is exactly the wrong shade of blue hopeful once, now the color of old breath. The door is partway open in a way doors aren't unless they've been invited. I point my phone light into the foyer and immediately regret wanting illumination. Dust in the beam turns into snow. The air goes cold the way basements do when the person you loved most refuses to stay dead. Furniture wears sheets like witness protection. A picture frame hangs crooked. Glass cracked into a map that doesn't lead anywhere. I take a step because the floor politely asks me to. Somewhere upstairs, the sound of weight shifting on boards that allowed themselves to be young too long. My phone buzzes in my palm. No sender. 2 words. Record everything. I obey because defiance is a luxury for daylight. The staircase complains in precise syllables. The 2nd floor corridor holds that specific cheap paint smell that never leaves college rentals lemon over mold. 3rd door on the left, a rectangle of dark, deeper than dark should be. I feel watched and then corrected. Not watched. Counted at the end of the hall. An old rotary phone sits on a low table that never belonged to it. The handset lifts itself half an inch and lands soft, like someone tired of being gentle. It rings once, as if practicing. I put my hand on the receiver and hate my hands. The 2nd ring would be a choice. My channel no answer was supposed to be a dare, not a rule I'd have to keep. I pick up anyway. On the line, an absence. Then breath. Then my name whispered with the patience of rooms. Robert. I try a word. It doesn't come. The voice comes again, still and busy with sorrow. When time stops, look again. The line cuts without click. The apartment's silence squeezes the hallway until it narrows to a throat. I step into the last room on the right. The walls are a study in 3:13 a.m. Dates and times carved into latex paint until the digits go pale. On the floor, a camera body with the lens shattered and the memory card intact like a joke. My chest tightens into a fist that isn't mine. I slide the card in and bring the viewfinder to life. Ethan appears in the wrong light. He is not on camera. He is in the room the camera thinks it belongs to. He blinks at a noise behind him. 3 knocks. His mouth forms the start of a word people keep for churches. The frame shakes once, like a house getting out of bed. Behind him, something leans in from the screen edge just far enough to catch. Nothing but a shoulder shaped like a misunderstanding. The clip stutters. The audio turns to a saw. White noise turns to teeth. The last frame savors the exact angle of Ethan's eyes before the file remembers it is forbidden to exist and deletes itself. I don't press anything. The camera goes dead like it owes someone money. I get out with the run of a man who decided a long time ago not to die photogenic. On the sidewalk, my breath is too loud to belong to one person. A streetlight blinks exactly twice, the way the chap begged me not to answer. I look back because the body's worst habit is disobedience. Behind the warped glass of the blue house window, a figure stands as still as a parent who has practiced not entering a room. For a second, I mistake distance for kindness. Then the mouth opens too wide for the shape of the face. The light above the door flips on by itself and throws a halo that makes the doorway an invitation and a threat in the same font. Back home. My group on Discord has doubled without adding a single username I recognize. New channels appear. Number 313 Audio. Hashtag Bluehouse-sightings. Hashtag do not answer. People drop ring clips and transit cams and iPhone live photos with the motion scrubbed out. A girl named Chloe joins the call on push-to-talk and whispers like a hallway. The mistake was answering. The chat replies with sincerity you only hear after midnight. Who did you hear? What did it say? Did it ask if you were seeing it? She laughs once without humor and posts a screenshot. A text thread to an unknown number. 3 lines. Are you seeing it? The door is open. Don't look back. The next 3:13 is 10 minutes away. My calendar app corrects itself to tomorrow as if the present are hours you rent. My wall phone that cannot be wakes in the kitchen and rings once. The hallway clock stops. The apartment stands up straighter than it ever has, like a witness about to speak under oath if time stops. Look again. I set my phone on the table, camera up. Frame centered on the doorway because I know that's where doors prefer to be seen from. I stand where Ethan stood at 12:47, mouth almost thinking about a word. 3 knocks come from inside the drywall at shoulder height. The way a person would knock if they were politely asking to be let out of a body. I tell myself, I will not answer the second ring. The second ring begins anyway, and then the time on the stove blinks. Very gently, between 1 minute and the next stuck, like a breath. 3:13, 3:13, 3:13. Time stops. I look again. Time doesn't start again with a sound. It starts with the decision you don't want to admit you made. The stove clock twitches back into motion. The second ring dies, mid-breath, like it realized I was listening too hard. My phone, still filming the doorway, saves the clip without asking. The file name ends in _0313. I push everything to the server private, invite only, the kind of Discord people pretend not to know exists until it saves their life. Chloe is already there, icon muted, typing like she's trying to keep the letters from falling off the screen. New users pour in with names that look like apologies. They bring Ring doorbell clips, Nest Cam time-lapses, and phone recordings where the silence weighs more than the sound. The pattern holds. Always 3:13 a.m. Always 3 knocks. Always the same DM sentence. Are you seeing it? Sometimes the camera catches nothing but hallway air. Sometimes it catches a shift in the frame like the room is inhaling. One clip from a porch in South Philly shows a shadow bending around a post like it's water avoiding a rock. A woman in Akron uploads a Nest video of her living room with the TV off. The black screen reflects a doorway that doesn't exist in our house. We build a sheet like people who believe in order because it keeps their hands busy. Timestamps, street names, distances from Mercer and 12th. Status of the accounts that posted the day after active, deleted, erased. When the map renders, the pins make a sloppy ring around the blue house, 2 to 8 blocks out. Not a circle, a bruise. Chloe opens her mic for the first time. Her voice is all thread and gravel. Don't answer the second ring. Say it out loud. I say it because rules want mouths. Don't answer the second ring. The server calms. Typing stops. A few avatars go green, then grey, like people testing whether breathing is still free. We set the rule as the topic line bolded. A pinned message appears without anyone pinning it. If time stops, look again. The chat doesn't like that. It asks if we trust messages that write themselves. It asks whether we should trust anything the internet wants us to see. I give an answer I can live with for the next 10 minutes. Trust the pattern, not the promise. We send 3 of us back to the blue house, just after Toomey, Chloe, and a kid who calls himself Lark because he thinks nicknames make you harder to delete. The streets in this part of town have quit insisting on being useful. Mercer and 12th is a corner that chose not to grow up. The house waits with the door just shy of polite, paint flaking in curls like old sunburn. Chloe stops at the gate and looks up at the second-floor window. Her eyes do the math you do when you're deciding whether fear is a signal or a hobby. If we hear a second ring, we leave. She says, "We're not answering anything," I say, and already hate the future where I'm wrong. Inside, the air is cold enough to make your teeth feel like coins. The living room is a gallery of domestic ghosts, shapes of couches under sheets. A TV that hasn't admitted it died, a bookcase with the kind of titles landlords leave behind interiors. Mortgages, a bird guide from the year the birds moved away. The hallway smells like lemon cleaner thrown at mold and losing. The rotary phone sits where I left it, like it never learned resentment. A smaller phone lives on the wall in the kitchen, beige, plastic, a fossil that refuses extinction. Their cords lay slack as if resting after a long run. My camera rolls. Chloe's rolls. Lark's rolls. Our mics pick up the ceiling, learning to creak in a new language. We clear the first floor and start up the stairs. Every other step sinks a fraction deeper than it should, like someone poured their weight here at a different time. Second floor hallway. 4 doors, the last one cracked. The walls are still a study in numbers, dates, times. 3:13, 3:13, 3:13. My phone buzzes in my pocket, an old vibration, not a notification. I pull it out. The lock screen shows a live photo of this hallway from an angle I am not standing in. In the half-second of motion, something passes the lens like a person remembering they used to be seen. "Don't look back," Chloe says, and I wasn't going to until she said it. The body hears rules, the way glass hears the heat. We enter the last room. The air is colder by a degree you only learn if you've lost someone. In the corner, a desk naked to the wood. On it, a lined index card, full caps in blocky hand, record everything underneath. The same hand in smaller print. They only appear when nobody's watching. Lark laughs once. The way people laugh when the ground is softer than it looks. He puts his phone face down on the desk, camera up. His other hand keeps filming the doorway. I understand the logic too late. One camera for what we want to see. One camera for what we keep missing. The closet is half open, the way good stories start. A thin coat hangs on the door like a shrug. The floor inside looks disturbed in a way that has nothing to do with feet dust raked, not swept. I kneel, drag my fingertips across the boards, and hit something that rings without ringing. A hollow. We lift the planks, slow, because slow tells a house you mean it. Beneath, a phone. Not rotary, not smartphone, somewhere in between. Black plastic with a cracked screen. A prepaid thing that never died because no one thought to charge it. It wakes under my thumb with the kind of loyalty you don't ask for. One voicemail. No carrier name, no time, A red dot like a sore. Chloe shakes her head once. Don't. I don't press play. The audio plays anyway, in the room. Like the house is done, outsourcing. Please. It hurts to breathe. Eliza's voice does not belong to me. It belongs to every hallway that had to teach itself patience. The sound wraps the corners and sits on the bed no one made. Lark's desk phone vibrates twice on its back like an insect trying to flip. The war phone in the kitchen rings once. The rotary breathes the exact amount of breath needed to explain the word dial tone without demonstrating it. Chloe holds my sleeve. We have to go. We heard it once. Then the second ring. It doesn't come from any phone. It comes from the wood under our feet. 2 taps, patient, neighborly, asking to be let in or out. I say the rule out loud to make it real. Don't answer the second ring. The hallway clock downstairs stalls as if to underline the sentence. 3:13 hangs in the air like a fruit left too long on a branch. The second hand twitches but refuses to pass. A drift of dust falls through the beam of my phone light and stops mid-air, suspended in something thicker than air. Chloe's face goes still. Time, she says. It stopped. Look again. We do. The doorway is wrong by an inch, like a mirror hung just crooked enough to tell a different story. The closet frame is taller than it was. The desk phone's camera, still facing up, films a ceiling that decides to become a wall and back. Lark's live feed shows the hallway, then shows it with an extra door, then shows it apologizing. I press play because pretending I'm still in control costs less than admitting I never was. The voicemail fills the room with the sound a summer evening makes right before police radios go quiet. Bring me back, Eliza says. Not to you, to where you left me. The message ends on the mouth of a small, tired breath. My bones try to make room for a shiver and run out of square footage. We back toward the hall. The rule in my head ceases being a headline and turns into a sentence with consequences. The second ring comes again, not louder, closer, walking across the boards to where our feet will be. Chloe catches my eye with a look that means now or never and also means both are wrong. We get to the stairs. The house tilts the angle of its listening. At the bottom landing, the rotary phone twitches off the cradle and dangles by its cord like someone lost interest in a magic trick halfway through. The kitchen wall phone glows without lighting anything. On my lock screen, a new live photo cues itself up from a camera I am not holding. In it, the 3 of us stand at the top of the stairs. Behind us, one more figure, head turned away, waiting to see if we'll do the hard version of leaving Dot outside. The street looks the way streets look when your pulse is the only soundtrack, empty but not lonelier. We hit the sidewalk like it owes us money. The blue house doesn't pursue. It never does. That's the part that scares me. Predators chase. Traps wait in the server. The map redraws itself without an admin touching it. Pins flare red, then white, then go out. Accounts that posted an hour ago go inactive. Posts evaporate as if the platform is embarrassed to have held them. The sheet updates user status on its own. Active, deleted, forgotten. A comment blips and dies. If you're seeing this, too late. We regroup at my place because my place hasn't learned to hate me yet. The fridge hums again, proud of itself. My wall phone remembers it doesn't exist. It looks more real, not ringing, than it did when it did. We lay our evidence out like we're preparing a child to tell the truth at school. Files, clips, addresses, the prepaid phone, the index card, the rule. We set a second rule under it, because rules like company. If time stops, look again. Chloe nods, slow, like the sentence fits a door she already forgot. She taps the prepaid screen, and it shows a draft text with no number in the to field. 3 words sit waiting like a dare. The doors open. We don't send it. We don't delete it. We let it be the kind of threat that takes a seat and crosses its legs. The server pings. New channel. #house-sightings-verified. It isn't ours. The channel posts 3 images in sequence, all from different cities, all at 3:13. All showing a house with chipped blue paint and a second-floor coin of a window. The address labels are wrong for each one and right for each person who took the picture. Chloe says it first. Because Chloe says the things I try to leave for later. We treat the table like an altar. On it, the prepaid phone with the 1 red dot. The index card in block caps Rick or everything. And the rule we keep saying like it's oxygen. Don't answer the second ring. Chloe ties her hair back like you do before bad work. We bring him back, she says. Not to us. To where he was left. Ethan, I say. And the room tries the name on like a coat. The stove clock breathes honest for once to 41 a.m. Lark dumps gear, 2 flashlights. 1 disposable camera. A micro cassette recorder he swears he found in a pawn shop. And a stack of sticky notes that all say the same thing in Sharpie. No answer. He peels one and slaps it on my door. Branding, he grins, but nothing in his face is a joke. We need evidence that isn't afraid of being erased. Analog where we can, redundant where we can't. We list it like a recipe. 1 Polaroid fresh pack. Don't waste the first shot. 1 cassette running the whole time. 1 phone filming downward ceiling only. 1 phone filming nothing screen black. They only appear when nobody's watching, Chloe reminds us. So we give the house what it wants, then we watch sideways. The map redraws as we walk. The bruise of pins around Mercer and 12th Titans, then relaxes, like a living thing finding its breath. The prepaid buzzes once against my thigh knot. A ring just taps, polite, neighborly. Chloe doesn't look up from the sidewalk. Second ring, she says, doesn't need a bell. The blue house waits with its door set at almost that half inch that gets into your ribs. Light bleeds under the second floor door like someone put a lamp on the floor and walked away. The knob turns warmer than the air as, if hands already made their choice, we enter like thieves who want to be caught. Living room, frozen mid-breath. Kitchen, beige wall phone on its hook. Stairwell, each step, choosing a different memory to creak. The second floor hall is the same numeric fever dream, 313 scrawled and scored until the paint remembers, near the last room. Chloe stops. On the floor, under the flayed roll of carpet, a lanyard corner glints. She pulls it free, slow. Student ID, chipped, laminated bubble yellowing at the edge. The photo catches a boy with the look you have to practice. Tired, trying. Ethan printed in school font. The back is scored with what you do to plastic when you're anxious in lines. Proof, she says. The desk is bare wood now. Somebody, sometime, stripped it down to what it is. I set the Polaroid facing the door at chest height. Lark drops the microcassette next to it and presses record. The small reels begin their crawl with the confidence of ants. Chloe draws the blackout shade. The room loses its eyes. Okay, I say, and my voice sounds like I borrowed it. We do it their way. All screens off. Flashlights low and pointed down, not out. Cameras tilted to the useless parts of the ceiling. We step out into the hall and close the door until latch meets plate. The house exhales. The quiet isn't silent. It's listening. On the tape, the first thing we won't hear yet climbs in. Floorboards thinking. Paint cooling. A small draft running its fingers along the baseboard like a pianist rehearsing scales. Downstairs, the beige wall phone decides to hum without ringing. The hall clock doesn't dare cough. We wait. You learn the math of waiting fast. 30 seconds is a minute. A minute is 5. Anything after that is an hour, even when it isn't. Twalt then a knock, not on the door. Under it, 2 taps, patient, neighborly, asking to be let into a story. The record light on the tape machine flickers, as if embarrassed to be a witness. I say the rule because not saying it feels like opening your mouth in water. Don't answer the second ring. The stove clock in my head, the one that lives there now, slides toward 3:13 like a blade. The prepaid against my leg offers 1 tap, then waits, like a man at a threshold with good manners. Lark leans close. Door's a test, he whispers. If we open it, we're answering. We do not open it. Instead, we do the opposite of bravery. We retreat 3 steps, so the door isn't the only thing making a decision. The house understands. The second tap doesn't come to the door. It walks away. Across the boards, down the hall, to the stair top. Tap, tap, stairs, careful. Tap, tap. Each step a knuckle, each pause a breath. It's leaving, Lark says, but Chloe shakes her head. It's moving where it can be brought back. We follow at a distance that pretends to be safety. The staircase remembers us by name. The landing holds the air a little too long between our feet and the floor. Downstairs, the foyer is a mouth. The living room is a throat. The kitchen keeps its teeth. The beige wall phone glows without light. The rotary on the side table lifts and sets down again, a gesture, not a call. The front door is wider now, more generous with its half-inch. Outside, the street has that particular cold where sound chooses not to travel far. On the kitchen table, something we didn't place, a folded index card. Twin to the one upstairs, same block hand, same heavy press. New line, bring IT back here, not there, what is it? Lark asks, even though the answer already waits on Chloe's tongue. His name, she says, and whatever carries it. We lay the ID badge in the middle of the table like a small animal we want to live. We place the prepaid beside it. The house adjusts its shoulders. Ethan, I say, and the room feels the name agree. We're bringing you back to where you were left. The second ring arrives, not as sound but as weight, settling in the bones under our teeth. 2 taps inside the maxilla, polite. The room tilts a degree we can't measure without instruments. The tape machine coughs once and keeps going. The Polaroid on the floor upstairs spits a card we don't see yet. The stove clock, wherever it is in the world, sticks in my head at 3:13. The minute hand refuses dignity. Time stops. Look again, Chloe says into the air. And I do, because I know what happens if I don't. The doorway lengthens by an inch only the guilty can see. The window learns an extra reflection. In it, 3 of us. And beyond us, a 4th shape, human, patient, tilted just so. Like someone practiced not being noticed. The beige wall phone blinks instead of numbers. The rotary is still. The prepaid writes on its own, 1 line, as polite as paperwork. I'm ready. Chloe closes her eyes. Don't look back, she says, and opens them anyway, because nobody obeys that rule on their first try. The hallway behind us has one more door than the house can hold. It's the kind of door you get in Screensaver Dreams, simple wood, no frame, existing for exactly as long as you agree not to question it. We don't touch it, we speak into the room, like it's a mouth that already decided what it tastes. Ethan, we brought you back, I say, to where you were left. Not to us, we're not answering. We're leaving room. The second ring bone backs away. The weight lifts from our teeth to the table, from the table to the floor, from the floor to the wall where the beige phone lives. 2 taps, then nothing. The house holds its breath the way a body does, right before the sob that lets you keep going. The prepaid dims. The ID badge shows condensation on the laminate, like it went outside and came back in. The kitchen light flickers once polite and decides to behave. The rule warms in my mouth until I can speak it without thinking. Don't answer the second ring. Upstairs, the cassettes reels slow for a heartbeat, then resume. The Polaroid develops in the dark. In it, when we see it later, the room will be empty, except for a shadow at the corner of the desk none of us stood in. A handprint will ghost the wood, narrow palm, long fingers, pointing not at the door, but toward the space where a chair used to be, a place someone waited, obedient to a rule we didn't teach them. Chloe touches the ID with one fingertip, warm. He's not here, she says. He's not nowhere either, Schrödinger, Lark says, because some people can't help themselves even when fear is working. We leave what we brought. We take what we can keep honest. The tape, the Polaroid, the index cards. At the door, the house closes the last half-inch for us. Not a slam. A decision on the sidewalk. The map pings in the server pins, flaring and dimming like fireflies in a jar. 1 pin at Mercer and 12th stays steady and then splits. 2 halos overlapping, then settling into one brighter bead. Under it, text we didn't type, :scene. The bruise loosens. Accounts that went dead blinked back like people waking up on couches they didn't mean to fall asleep on. Not all. Enough to make the night remember mercy exists and can be rude. Back at my place, the fridge returns to humming like it's proud to be useful. The wall phone doesn't try to exist. The rule sits on the table between us. No longer a slogan, more like a bill. We play the tape. The room listens to itself. Breaths overlap. The knocks walk. In the middle, a voice arrives as if reluctant to be recorded. It's small. It's tired. It knows our names without learning them from a screen. When time stops, it says, don't help it. Silence. Then a scrape, a chair leg, a body remembering how to stand without a witness. We do not sleep. The server is a river. People type things that matter. I'm back. It skipped me. I heard 2 taps in the wall and didn't answer, and it moved away. Others type things that hurt. It knocked on my chest. It knows my door. It's not a house. At 3:58, the prepaid lights for the last time and shows us. A text addressed to no one. Next night, same rule. Bring back what you stole. What did we steal? Lark asks. Chloe doesn't answer. She looks at the Polaroid cooling on the table, then at the ID badge sweating like a glass. Her mouth forms a word and refuses to say it. I look again. In the photo's lower right corner, the edge of the desk reflects not us, not the door, a mirror I don't remember. In the mirror, A shape behind me I didn't feel. Head tipped, mouth half open, as if about to whisper a rule. We stare at the picture until the room decides not to blink. The second ring doesn't come, which is worse. We don't wait for courage. We pack while the coffee is still lying about being helpful. On the table, Ethan's cracked student ID. The prepaid with its single red dot. The Polaroid still drying at the edges. The cassette labeled in Penkachin 313 and the index cards. Record everything and don't answer the second ring. Chloe pockets the ID. Lark wears the microcassette on a lanyard, like a fragile medal. I slide the prepaid into my back pocket where a wallet should go. 3:02 a.m. The city does that thing where it forgets it has lungs. We walk the 12 minutes to Mercer and 12th, like we're bringing a body to a door that owes it. The blue house is darker tonight. The door isn't ajar, it's waiting. The second floor window coins out a deeper black, like a pupil deciding how much of you to take. Same rule, Chloe says, voice barely a stitch. If time stops, look again, I finish. Because repetition makes bad ideas feel domesticated. Inside, the air is colder by choice. The living room sheets lie flatter, as if whatever needed to pass through them has. The kitchen wall phone hums a high C that teeth can hear. The rotary sits still as a kept secret. The hall toward the stairs smells like lemon and flooded. Drywall, we don't go up. Lark tilts his chin. Toward the basement door, I swear wasn't here before, flat wood. No frame, sitting where pantry used to be. It's the extra door from the upstairs hall, demoted or promoted, to where houses keep their truths. What we stole, Chloe says quietly, is downstairs. We don't argue. The knob turns with that soft, nasty courtesy old brass has when it's sure you'll obey. The steps are steep, the kind old miners built practical, spiteful. I count them without meaning to, 13. Of course, the bulb at the bottom is a tired sun. The room is more room than it should be. Concrete walls, a workbench with nothing on it, a chair that remembers weight, a mirror leaning facing to the wall like it's been put in time out. Along the far wall, floorboards where concrete should be. Someone laid wood over dirt and taught it how to listen. Two polite knocks travel under the boards and up our shins. We don't answer, Chloe lays Ethan's ID on the workbench like a passport. She sets the Polaroid beside it and the cassette recorder on the chair. Lark kills every screen and points a phone up, face black, filming the void over our heads. I tuck the prepaid into the mirror's frame so it has to look at its own empty face. Say his name because names are doors, and tonight we need one more opening than we fear. Ethan, I tell the room. We brought back what we took, your name, your proof, your hour. Not to us, to where you were left. The house replies with weight, settling in our cheekbones. The prepaid taps twice against the mirror like a ring finger knocking from inside. The cassette reels drag for a beat, then try again. The bulb dims to the edge of honesty. Time dash upstairs. On every stove we've ever owned, slides toward 313, say it. Chloe whispers without looking at me. Don't answer the second ring. It sounds less like a warning now, more like a contract. The first knock comes. Not under us, but behind us. The mirror's back, slow, asking, 2 taps. The kind you give a friend when you're outside and they forgot you know their door code. We turn together. The mirror hasn't moved, but it has. It leans an inch more open. showing sliver dark between glass and wall, a seam of space that isn't space. Something colder seeps from the gap coal mine air, hospital hall air. The breath you get back right after the worst word. Don't, Lark says. And the word shakes like a ladder. I'm not, I lie. The second ring starts to form in the bones of the room. We feel it before the sound arrives. 2 taps spool up under our ribs and wait for permission. We don't give it. Chloe steps to the workbench and presses. 1 palm over the ID, 1 finger on the corner of the Polaroid, grounding both like a medic. She speaks the way you speak to a stranger who knows your childhood. Ethan, we're leaving your name and not taking it back. We're leaving proof and not filming you. Come to what's yours. Under the boards, something shifts through dust. Not a crawler transfer. The 2 taps dissolve before they happen. The weight in the room moves from chest to floor to wood to the seam behind the mirror. The glass inhales without fogging. The mirror doesn't show us. It shows a hallway that never fit in any house we've studied. Too long, wrong light. Wallpaper that looks like water thinking about drowning. Lark's phone, still fit. Catches nothing but a drop tick against its mic, the sound a single bead of water makes, falling into a buried bucket. My throat closes on a reflex I don't own. Bring him, Chloe says to the seam, like asking a dog to come all the way through a too small gate. Bring him back here, like you wrote. The prepaid's dead screen prints align without waking. DONT, look back. We don't. We fix on the seam. On the chair, on the Polaroid going darker around an image we haven't earned. The second ring drifts by us like a boat, choosing not to land. A breath pushes through the crack human, bad at being brave. The mirror bows a millimeter outward, the way lungs do right before a rib gives. In the glass hallway that should not be, a shadow waits. Head at that angle tired people use when they are trying not to make you flinch. Ethan, I say again, and my eyes go hot the way eyes do only when the truth is stupid and simple. You don't have to answer. We're not asking. Just be where you get to be counted. The ID sweats again, a ring of condensation like it went for a run and came home. The cassette stutters, then whispers a single word that isn't ours. Here, it's small enough to miss if you want to. None of us want to. The bulb flickers like it remembered prayer. The mirror's seam narrows, a muscle relearning. Footsteps pass under the boards from right to left, counted in polite twos. The chair receives weight, then gives it back without complaint. The Polaroid finishes developing. We don't flip it yet. Upstairs, a door we didn't open closes. We hold our breath, then give it back. The house levels out a degree. The cold eases off our molars. The prepaid chest taps once, gentle, like a hand on a shoulder after a long story. The second ring doesn't come, which is when Lark answers anyway. Not a phone, not a knock. He half turns toward the stairs on reflex, eyes cutting to the dark above us back. The one thing we swore not to do on says, without meaning to, hello. It's nothing. A syllable. A coin dropped flat. He gives the house a word, and the house says thank you in its language. The second ring slams the room. 2 hard taps under the boards, impatient now. 2 against the mirror frame, commanding. To down the stairward, choosing violence. The bulb gutters. The tape reels, scream, and then go to a flat line of hiss. Don't, Chloe starts. But the mirror seam yawns, like a mouth learning hunger. A black draft hits our knees. Lark's face turns delayed, his expression a half-second behind his fear. Like the light in him has farther to travel. Look at me, Chloe tells him. And he does, because good men obey the right woman in a basement. Not back, not up, me. Something presses against the other side of the glass, palm to palm with an absence we can't trace. 5 long finger shapes print condensation 5 inches higher than Lark's would. The first knuckle of each is wrong too long, like it costs extra to bend. The prepaid hammers the mirror twice. Not a tap, a verdict. On its dead face a single contact appears. Letters made from what little light the room will spare. Ethan. Then the line under it. Not your turn. The chair grinds backward 1 inch on concrete. The Polaroid clicks in my hand like cold teeth. Upstairs, something walks through the kitchen without touching the floor. We don't run. We can't. Running requires a world that allows motion. The house is a photo for 3 long heartbeats, and we're the blur that won't stick. Say it. Chloe orders me eyes, never leaving Lark. Say the line. Make it true again. I spit it like a prayer and a curse at once. Don't answer the second ring. The room hates being told no. But rules are old things. Older than houses. Older than whatever learned to wear them. The second ring dips in volume. Not the taps back away along the boards. The seam draws shut until the mirror's back, dumb and human. The bulb steadies. The cassette coughs up 1 more breath and then resumes its ants. Lark blinks in time with the light, which means we get to keep him for at least another minute. We don't win. We pause the losing. Chloe lifts the Polaroid like a wafer. We look because none of us could survive not looking. The picture shows the basement as it was 5 minutes ago. ID, cassette, chair, mirror turned to the wall. In the lower right, a sliver of glass catches more than the room. In it, a head, half out of frame, mouth making a sound no one wants to hear. The jaw is off by a degree only mirrors can measure. Like someone borrowed a face and didn't ask permission to wear it. The caption area at the bottom, place only human hands can write has letters we didn't print. Not ink. Pressure in the emulsion, like a fingernail, taught itself how to leave a message. No answer. The bulb warms a fraction, like approval. We put the ID and the Polaroid back on the bench. We leave the cassette running. We take nothing that can be called a souvenir. Upstairs, the house lets the front door be a door. We step into a street that has remembered it wants to be boring. Boring is holy. On the walk home, the server wakes like a dog hearing keys. Pins come back, lit slow, shy. A handful stay dead. 1 more appears where no one lives. A water tower on the south edge of town pings twice. A highway mile marker breathes once and then refuses to be seen at my apartment. The wall phone that doesn't exist holds its silence like a professional. The stove ticks past 3:13 without gloating. The prepaid, out of tricks, gives up its red dot and becomes a lump. We sit. Nobody speaks because speaking would make the world adjust to our sentences. The cassette has an hour left. We let it have it. When it clicks, we'll listen and hear. Something. A chair. A sigh. A line by phone buzzes in my pocket with the short, mean notification tone that arrived the night Ethan's stream died. No app claims it. The lock screen holds a single message in text: the OS didn't install. Tomorrow. Same rule. Bring back what you filmed. We didn't film him, Lark says. Desperate. Chloe looks at the phone on the table. face down, camera up, that recorded nothing on purpose. We filmed the one thing they said lets them appear, she says. Nobody watching. I swallow because the body wants to do at least one thing that feels like a decision. We bring the nothing, I say, and we don't look back. The fridge hums in a key that could almost be kind. The hall clock accepts its job and does it without tricks. Across the street, a porch light blinks twice, polite as a neighbor. At 3:33, I finally stand. The apartment listens. The second ring does not come, which is somehow worse. I kill the lights, leave the ID on the table, and set the Polaroid under the index cards like a child under blankets. In the black, my phone screen lifts itself and writes the one line I didn't want to admit was waiting. Are you seeing it? Underneath, a live photo thumbnail of my doorway, taken from the hall where no camera is. In the half-second of motion, a shape leans in, mouth almost forming a word reserved for churches and houses we have not forgiven. The clip ends on the sound of a single, polite knock once on the inside of my chest. I do not answer yet. We go back one last time, carrying exactly what the house asked for. Nothing. Phone face down. Screen black, lens pointed up to film absence. Cassette rolling. Polaroid in my pocket like a spare truth. Ethan's ID warming in Chloe's fist as if names have a pulse. Basement door. 13 steps. The mirror still in timeout, back to the room, seem waiting like a closed eye that knows it can open whenever it wants. We lay the black screen phone on the workbench, beside the ID tape machine on the chair. Flashlights down. No one looks back. The rule is a wall between our teeth. Don't answer the second ring. Time lands on 3:13 and holds. Dust stops mid-air. The phone that's filming nothing becomes the most interesting object in the world. On its dead face, a single line writes itself in the OS's patient voice. Bring IT back. The mirror's scene thins the room. Air goes cold, mine cold. 2 taps walk under the boards toward the bench, polite as a neighbor who never learned to leave. We don't answer. We let the nothing be taken. The black screen phone hums low, like a swallowed fly. The camera, starved of light, records a shift the way night records a confession. Not clearly, not kindly. The tape catches a breath that doesn't belong to any of us, then a chair leg slide, then a word so small you could convince yourself the room made it. Here, Chloe presses her palm to the ID until her knuckles color. The laminate fogs. If you're coming, she says to the seam, come to this. Not us. The prepaid dead, pocketed taps my ribs twice like a warning from inside a locked drawer. Lark's eyes flick up by reflex. Then back to Chloe because he learns faster when terror is busy. The second ring gathers in the bones of the house. To taps, spool, and wait. We don't give permission. The mirror decides to disagree. It opens a finger with not a door, a decision. Inside the sliver, the wrong hallway, the watercolored paper, a corner of a chair we haven't earned. A hand presses from that side, too long at the knuckles, too careful at the palm. It prints 5 shapes on our glass and then slowly, almost kindly draws a line in the condensation that reads like a child trying to remember CURSIVE.no. Answer. The black screen phone stops humming. On the tape, the breath exits without sound. The weight in the room moves from the mirror to the bench, to the ID, to the floor between our shoes. The seam shuts as if someone on the other side remembered how to be polite. Upstairs. A door we don't own closes. We don't celebrate. The pause between dangerous and worse is not a victory. It's a receipt. We take only what we brought to feed the day. The cassette, the black screen phone, the picture that hasn't decided whether it wants to show us. We leave Ethan's ID where it's sweated. We leave the rule in our mouths. Outside, the street looks generous. Boring, even. The kind of boring that's a prayer. Back home, we do what the night told us. We bring back what we filmed. We post the cassette and the nothing video raw to no answer nor music. No cuts, no jump scares, just the sound a room makes learning a new grammar. Title plain, 313, bring back no visual. Description in one sentence. If time stops, look again. If you hear the second ring, don't. Then we wait. Comments arrive like weather. I heard a chair move at 2:11, but then nothing. Why is nothing worse? That breath at 3:13 isn't human. Or it is, and that's the problem. Frame 3713. There's a reflection in the screwhead on the bench. Count shadows. I see 4. Play at 3:13 your time, with the phone face down. It knocks under your table. Chloe doesn't read out loud. Her mouth remembers the rule and keeps it like a coin behind a tooth. Lark scrubs through the nothing video until he hits a frame the compression. Didn't know how to hide. A glossy smudge the shape of a jaw. Wrong by a degree only mirrors insist on. I flipped the Polaroid basement, bench, cassette. Mirror turned to the wall. And at the lower edge, bleeding in from a corner the camera shouldn't reach. A second image that shouldn't exist my hallway at home. The one with the broken light. Folded into the scene like two rooms, got tired of being separate. In that small strip, a hand rests on my doorknob. It isn't mine. The thumb is on the wrong side. On the white border of the print, the emulsion bears letters you can only read if you tilt it in the kitchen light. Bring back what you kept. What did we keep? Lark asks, because someone has to be brave enough to be literal. No one answers. We schedule the live replay for midnight test. PST, middle of nowhere. Time and ask viewers to listen with headphones. Phones face down. We pin the rule in the chat and leave the rest alone. The premiere countdown ticks. Towards 0 o'clock, the way a fuse pretends to be a clock. At 11 hours 59 minutes and 55 seconds. The map on our server hour brews of pins redraws itself without touching. You can watch the ring widen around Mercer and 12th, then relax into the edges of the country. Then leak into other places we don't own. A farmhouse in Iowa, a condo in Miami, a dorm in Flagstaff. The comments turn from clever to small. It tapped under my desk. Twice, my lights paused for a beat. 3:13, exactly. When the breath happens, my phone screen shows, are you seeing it? But I don't have notifications on. Did anyone else see the extra door? What we captured plays out. The chair scuffs. The breath. The pause that rearranges spine. The polite knock somebody hears, not through their speakers, but under their table. On some screens, the nothing video flashes a single frame of mirror seam. On others, it doesn't. On a few, they swear they see a face in the gloss of a screw. In ours, the timeline drops a frame and returns like it forgot a word. After. The room, this house, my place, the town around it. Your apartment, wherever you live, stays very still. Like it's waiting to see whether we learned anything. My phone, which I didn't touch, writes one line on its lock screen in that steady, unhurried system font. You decide if we brought him back. Under it, a live photo I don't remember taking. The blue house. Second floor window like a coin, and in the reflection, the outline of 3 figures on the sidewalk. Or 4. Or 2 and something between. We don't answer. We don't explain. We don't end the stream with a speech. We close the laptop and let no answer stare back at the dark. Somewhere in the building, polite knuckles touch wood once. Then again. Then they stop like they remembered the rule. You'll know what you heard. You'll know what you saw. Or you won't, and the night will be happy to help.